Hi writers, today we're going to do session 9, okay? So be sure to have your stories out in front of you to follow along. Today the goal is to just go back and check your story to make sure that you have things happen in the same place, which is the setting. Writers, you are also going to check to see if your second series book has a problem and a solution. So this is the story that I wrote this week. I have a beginning, a middle, and an end, okay? And I'm going to go through it step by step with you to help you check your story. So here we go. I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, when I got to my middle page, this is my second page, I had to do some thinking, okay? Because the second page is where we would focus on our problem and our solution. But let's back up a little bit. Let's look at the plan. I wrote a question here. It says, does my story happen in the same place? I had to really think about that as I was writing my story, and hopefully you did too. This is Gretchen's house. That's where my book 1 took place. Now I'm including Sky's house in my second book. Do you think that's okay? Let's stop and pause the video and think about it. What did you decide? If you said yes, then it's a good answer. It's correct. It's okay to include other things in the setting. That's still considered happening in the same place. It doesn't have to be in the same exact house. It could be in the neighborhood. We just don't want it to be something super, super far away right now, okay? Because we're building our series based on our character, Gretchen, and getting to know her and the things that are her familiar surroundings. Okay, I know that's kind of tricky. All right, the next question that I asked myself as I was doing my second page here is, what should the problem be in my second book? I had to stop and think. Gretchen is missing her friend, right? So I'm thinking about what I could include as a problem while Gretchen is walking over to Sky's house. Here's some ideas. Okay, stop and think. You can even pause the video if you want to come up with a problem that I could use. Okay, are you ready to see what I did? Let's go to the next page. All right, so here's what I did. I drew a picture of Gretchen's house, right? And then I drew Sky's house. And then I included Mom and Gretchen walking to Sky's house. But I decided that my problem would be Gretchen falling and getting hurt. Okay, so I'm telling my story step by step. Here we go. I said, next, Gretchen and her mom walked down the path to Sky's house. Then Gretchen tripped on a big crack in the sidewalk. Ouch, she screamed. So, did I tell my story step by step? Did I include the problem? And did I use the setting that is familiar to Gretchen? Yes, yes, and yes. Those are all things I want you to try to do in your story. So then, when I got to my third and last page, I had to come up with a solution. What do you think? What could be a solution to this problem of Gretchen falling and hurting her leg? I wrote so far, finally, Gretchen and her mom made it to Sky's house. If you guessed that Sky is going to give her a Band-Aid, you are correct. Let's see how I wrote that. I'm going to move myself over here for a second. Okay. I said, finally, there's my transition word. Gretchen and her mom made it to Sky's house. Gretchen was so happy, I'm talking about the character's feeling, and relieved to see her friend. Sky saw the cut on Gretchen's knee. She gave her a Band-Aid. Gretchen felt better. She was so happy to see her friend. And then I wrote the end at the very bottom. Okay, so this is how I chose to end my story. And I want you to think about some things as you go off to check your story. Think about how you should tell your story in small steps, right? Bit by bit, one piece at a time. This is my first, sentence that I wrote on this page, and I'm talking about how Gretchen and her mom made it to her house. That's one step. The next step was telling how she felt. The next step was Sky giving her the Band-Aid. And then the last step, my fourth sentence, four things, is that Gretchen felt happy to see her friend. That's how I wrapped it up. That's how I finished my piece. Okay? So I'm pretty happy with how my second book in my series came out. I hope that you're happy with your second books today too. Please send your teachers your final books so that we can see what you wrote about. And I cannot wait until next week. Next week, we're going to focus on some fun things that we can go back and add to our two books. Okay? I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you later. Bye.